Good morning, people. What's happening? Welcome to the Morning Night Live. So this morning on the show, I just got some breaking news. Literally 15 minutes ago, this popped up on my feed, and I thought, you know what? I think this is going to be the one I'm going to start with today. So just a little teaser for you. It's breaking news on the Morning Night Live. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PAWG Night. Stop the music. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Night Live. What happened to my, there it is, poof. Yeah, we got a little funky beat going here this morning. But it's not necessarily a funk day. That's on Fridays. It is just one of those things. I got some, going with a little dance beat today. It's a little loud though. There. All right, that's a little better. So, this morning, I'm on the internet just before I came to my show here, and apparently Project Veritas is back at it again, and they have an interesting report that just came out less than 30 minutes ago. I don't know what exactly it was, but it's a pretty big deal. So, and it's, you know what? It's a big deal in that it's just another one of these things when you're talking about the corona apocalypse. There's a narrative that this has to be the worst possible thing on earth, and the news has got to do everything they can to make it as bad as possible. And it's bad enough without them trying to pimp it, as being worse. So it's just one of those examples. So before we do that, though, I'm going to say good morning to everybody who's in the chat. Good morning, Gunfox61, who made it here first and gets the bell. Yes, you do. And also, good morning, Cindy Rochelle. Thank you for tweeting out the show before I did. Also, good morning, Sheograph, E. Michael, Donatello Slapafellow, Katie did skate. Let's see. It repeats. Oh, is in the house. Hello. And also, Grillin' Pirate Pete, Molly Mags 53. Welcome back. Nice to see you again. Also, let's see, Maniac. It is Maniac Man. You know, I noticed that on some other places that I see you show up, Maniac Man, some of them say Manic Man, meaning you're a little on the happy side or joyous side, which you very well may be, but I noticed that it's actually Maniac Man, which is a little more disturbing and a little more intriguing. So I'm going to stick with that. Also, good morning. This is Kyle. Hello, chat at People and P-Dog. That's the standard greeting, and I am so glad that you're here. Now, I have this music up a little too loud in my ears. You're going to have to tell me if the music is too loud today. I think I wanted to try it at a different level, because when I watched my playback the other day, I noticed that I had the music almost a little too low and it doesn't have the same effect. So I'll turn me up and the music up accordingly so that you can adjust your sound and hopefully it works out. Charlie Baker, the Massachusetts governor, made it mandatory to wear a mask last night as of midnight. He's officially on my shit list. That's interesting. Yeah, there's a whole lot of, oh, good God, a whole lot of that shit going on where they just think they're going to tell you what to do. And I saw a video the other day. I don't know if it's still up. I'm going to have to check it's still up. But there's another doctor who used to work with Dr. Fauci who thinks we're going about this all wrong. And the whole mask thing is crazy. And the people quarantining themselves is crazy, according to her. And they put her in jail for bucking whatever the system that she was bucking. And thankfully she's out. But anyway, good morning, all you need. I see you're here too. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, let's check out Project Veritas first, though, because their report this morning, apparently, now, they haven't made it clear yet who, excuse me, I do have my cup of reparations coffee. I have seasonal allergies that are really bad, and I have a combination of coughing and sneezing. So, no, I don't have the coof from the COVID-19, but I do have a cough, and so every once in a while I'm going to have to stop and drink my coffee to stop. I should throw some bourbon in here. That usually stops me from coughing. Maybe next time. Anyway, I do have my cup of reparations coffee in hand. So let's get into the Project Veritas thing. So apparently CBS News the other day, I think May 1st, did a report on the CBS morning show with Gayle King, and they did a report on, they're doing a report on testing, testing for COVID-19, and apparently, now it's not clear whether it was CBS News who did it or whether the clinic where they went to go do the testing did it, but apparently in order to spice things up just a little bit, they decided that they would take a bunch of their employees and random people and put them in the testing line just to make the testing line look bigger. And so this is what Project Veritas' report this morning. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste the link to the video in the chat. You can right click that and watch it later, but we're going to watch a couple pieces of this and just show you what's going on. Now, before I do though, a few more people showed up in the chat just now. Maybe the notification just went out, or you just saw me on Twitter. So either one, that's great. Good morning, Smarty Bear, Chi-Town J, Jaeger Silva. Well, Jaeger Pony, Jaeger Silva. I was gonna say Vanderlei Silva, but that's probably not right either. Anyway, good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And also, Cynical Lindsay. Good morning. I think you were here earlier. No, you just got here, so there you go. Either it's going to be shake and bake pork chops or homemade cheeseburger macaroni in our Instapot tonight. Y'all are talking about dinner? All right, sounds good to me though. I love me some shake and bake pork chops. Oh my gosh. When I was a kid, it used to be just the shake and bake chicken, but then they had that pork chop version and I was like, damn. I love that shit. Anyway, raise your hand with a 1 in the chat if you remember the commercial. It's Shake and Bake, and I helped. Good morning, Reverend. I almost said it incorrectly. Good morning to the Reverend Tex Watson. How are you, sir? All right, I feel blessed with that. Bless you. All right, let's get into Project Veritas real quick, because let's see, is this gonna work? I don't even know. My YouTube, no, it doesn't show up. I have to go do it this way. We'll go full screen here. So anyway, here you go. I've been there for a while, Lord Boomer. Okay. By the way, I didn't even say good morning to you. Welcome to Morning Night Live. It is the 6th of May, 2020 on the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, aka P-Dog Knight, also known as the Last Boomer. Welcome. If you like what we do here today, make sure you share this stream. In fact, share it anyway, because I got to grow the channel. That's the only way it's going to happen if you guys do it, because YouTube ain't helping me at all. Also, hit the like button if you like what we do. And you can do super chats through the Streamlabs link in the description down below or in the chat. This show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. You'll be a permanent part of this particular episode and more. Good morning, Tyler F. Also. All right, let's get into the Project Veritas. We'll get the right screen on here. I know I was standing there in the dark. So we'll just go to a little bit of this. Here's the part of the key part that I thought about that I found interesting, and we'll take a listen to that. In fact, let me turn. Well, you can probably hear it over the music. We'll see. I'm going to pause the music here. We'll pause the music and then get back to Project Veritas. All right, here we go. Here's the part that I thought was important.
I worked at Cherry Health.
Cherry Health is?
It's a medical facility. It's Cherry Health Heart of the City is the full name of it. And when I came into work that day, the news crew was there. I was kind of asking around what happened. And they were just letting me know that there's news there for the testing.
So CBS News was coming there to do a report at this Cherry Hill facility. And this guy is a whistleblower who they're obvious. Well, we don't know if it's a guy or a woman, but they're what are you calling? They're altering the voice just so you don't know who it is. Okay, here we go.
What did you see happen that that you're claiming is fake news about this?
Well, when I was over there and the line was coming through, a lot of them were just kind of driving up and not really getting tested at all. They were just talking with the testers. So I was asking what's going on with the tests, and then that's when they told me that.
So this is from the report. They got this line of cars coming in, like, oh, there's lots of cars coming in. They're trying to make the line look longer, okay? And apparently, this line is just basically full of their employees. Anyway, we'll keep going.
Majority of the line is from employees at Cherry Health. So, yeah.
The people in the line were not people being tested, but they were employees pretending to be patients?
Correct, yep.
Why would they do that?
I think it's a little bit of a benefit for both parties. I do know Cherry Health is struggling a little bit financially. They're a nonprofit, so they get a lot of their money from donors or grants. So it just makes them look productive. And then on the side of the news.
Now, so this is why I'm not sure who would have made this line look longer. Now, granted, CBS may just wanted to make it look like they were busy, like a different part of the day. But it also, you wonder if the nonprofit is the one that did this. Did they say, okay, we're gonna be on a national news broadcast. We're a nonprofit. We thrive on donations. If we make it look like we're more productive, will we be able to promote this as showing that we are a productive site?
They want to make the line appear bigger than it is just for their reporting purposes, to show that this is a big deal, that people are getting tested in massive numbers.
So we do have enough testing.
So, and then this is from the CBS
really
News
short,
report.
On gowns, we're also short on N95 masks. We cannot expand further without any additional personal protective equipment.
They also can't expand testing because of recent staffing cuts.
Cherry Health has laid off about 25% of our staff.
Well, now, why have they laid off 25% of their staff? Because I'm guessing that this is in Michigan, where they've shut down all non-essential businesses, right? And I'm going to assume, like in our state, well, I don't know if they did it in our state, but I know in some states, they're also canceling any non-elective procedures, or and basically they were making it so they have room for everyone who does COVID-19. So that's probably why they've laid off part of their staff, because part of their staff probably has nothing to do with this kind of testing.
Wow. And at a time like this.
Oh, at a time like this, where probably 25% of your staff has nothing to do with testing. At a time like this, well, if they have, that's not their area. If it's a receptionist or someone who does intake or someone who does triage, and you're not doing any other procedures, ding, or there, let's have the real bell. You'd lay them off.
The governor says she may further open the economy region by region if the data shows it's safe. Now, putting Michigan back to work won't make up for the roughly $3 billion the state estimates it'll lose because of the pandemic.
Oh, they're going to lose $3 billion because of the pandemic. Well, it's because all your people are sitting at home not making money and not paying payroll taxes. So there you go. I was here 2 weeks ago telling you guys how fake this was, and people treated me like I was crazy, like you sheep always do. Well, no. Who's we or you? Who do you mean by you? Blame the messenger and close the eyes. The American way. Cairo, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Did we treat you poorly? That was unintentional. Okay. I'm saying that there are real cases. And I don't. Well, Cynical Lindsay, pretty much. Cynical Lindsay pretty much mirrors my thoughts. I didn't know anything about this, and I do not trust anything reported by the media these days, especially coverage on the virus. Yeah, Pennsylvania, we just started to do elective surgeries again. Well, good, because I may be needing an elective surgery here pretty soon anyway. So hopefully they've done that in Minnesota. I know. Well, now I know they're still doing elective surgeries because. I do business with a orthopedic surgery center, and they're still open and they're still taking appointments. Good morning, Adam Richard. How you doing? And by the way, Cairo, thank you. Good morning. And also good morning, Kingslayer Damocles. All right, let me let's finish it up here. And there's Gail King with her concerned look.
Go back to the testing. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. Goes back to the testing. Well, I don't know. Anyway. Oh, you're on the ground. There are no real cases. Where in particular are you located, or in general? You don't have to tell me specifically, but in general, where are you located, Cairo? I'm curious.
Ariana Diaz reporting.
So they were almost staging a fake news event. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct. Yes.
Now the segment.
Now, he also had some footage that he was doing. He went and talked to some people. I'll just skip over this part and show you some of this also.
News crew wanted more people in the line.
Oh, okay. So he's talking to... Okay, so here we go.
Apparently, the news crew wanted more people in the line because they knew it was scheduled.
Okay, so the news crews did have some involvement in that.
Day that it wasn't real people, or not real people, but that it was employees.
That long ass line that we have.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, good first super chat of the day. Thank you, Mr. Willie. I'm trying to pronounce this last name right. It looks like it says Fisteraz. That's a very interesting last name. Willie Fisteraz. Willie Fisteraz. That's is that Czechoslovakian? No, wait. AZ, finishing AZ. Maybe Polish? Willie Fisteraz? Well, thank you, Willie Fisteraz. Dog Treat Fund, $5.56 in the Super Chat. Thank you so much. If you want to participate in the Super Chat program, you can do that in the Streamlabs link down below. Or if you can't do Streamlabs for some reason, help me get to 1,000 subscribers so you can use the YouTube version. I do have a Venmo and all that shit too, but whatever. Anyway, all right. Here, let's finish this. Let's finish this up here. So this is the whistleblower who did some hidden video of these people. I don't know how he did that, but he did. And this is by the way, the whistleblower is someone who works for Cherry Health. So that's fascinating too. But anyway.
The bag with the test tube in it. That's what they told me. And I was like, figures, because we see the schedule ahead.
Oh, so no one told you like in advance? It was just kind of like
right there.
You were just like, why is this line so long?
Okay, and then let's see, Glenda Walker, Director of Quality Information, Cherry Health. He's talking to her.
Yeah, she was just looking for volunteers to go out and just drive through the tent.
Gotcha. And did she tell you guys like, hey, you're not actually getting tested?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she did. She just was just to make it look busy for the news because they were right there watching.
That's crazy. How did you guys feel on Monday, like, what with the cars?
I mean, it's just annoying because we could have done other stuff, you know?
Right.
But smile and nod.
Yeah, because when I was talking to you guys that day, it sounded like you guys were a little frustrated, but...
Yeah.
And no one told, like, prepped you guys ahead of time?
Well, we knew they were coming. We had no clue that we were going to have to, like, do fake patients.
How did the medical work?
All right. So anyway, you can watch again. You can watch this report on your own. Again, I'll put the link in the chat again. You can right click and watch it later. And I'm pretty sure that they'll have a much larger version of this particular report, like they usually do. So Cairo, I'm sorry, I'm going to get back to Cairo here. So you're saying, okay, so it says you're at 158 in Riverside. Is that? Well, I don't know where that is, but anyway. And I'm a regular patient at the world's largest hospital, which is 2 blocks from my house. No one has corona. People have colds and flu, less this year than other years. It does not exist at any level. Old people die in New York City, and when they do, we see the candles and flowers. Very little death right now. No corona does not exist at any level, not even a little bit. Well, that is very interesting. Oh, that's very good. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
The enemy of the people, telling lies to fool the people to get more money.
That's right.
How long before YouTube bans this video because they're actually doing real news?
That's right.
I'm telling you, it's I think James lives on a string at all times when it comes to YouTube. But the one thing that he does have on his side, he has plenty of money as far as donors and things like that, and his attorneys are pretty good at this stuff. And I don't think they've lost any lawsuits so far, and they've had a lot of retractions from news organizations. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how much longer they're going to allow, so to speak, him to do his reports. But you know, it's funny because some people claim that he has trouble with the law, which he's pretty much won every case. So it'll be interesting. Let's see here. I've heard there are protests in is that Maine or Massachusetts? It might be Maine. You know, the government has gone overboard with the lockdown measures when California and Massachusetts are 2 staunch blue states are protesting. Yeah, you know. Speaking of protests, let me just skip into. I have a couple articles, but I want to skip into some internet fucketry from a friend of mine who tends to thrive in that stuff. But first, before that, thank you, Cynical Lindsay, for tweeting out the show. Also, Grill and Pirate Pete for retweeting the retweet, and Dar for tweeting us out. RVA and Tyler F for tweeting out the show. Please, everybody, share the stream, share the show. That helps make it grow, and it makes the chat much more lively. The chat is so much more lively than it used to be, and it was lively before. But you know what? It's fun having a lot of new people here. My internet fucketry of the day comes from my friend Sofane, and this is a fascinating little ditty here. So, you know, Sofane is very critical of the people who are protesting during, for these different things. He's very, very critical of the open Georgia protest. And he's very critical of his own government. He lives in Georgia, opening things up. And it's interesting because he tweets out this particular story. Now, and I want to analyze it a little bit. Now, by the way, just listen carefully. please do not contact Sophane. Do not harass Sophane. Do not do anything to Sophane. If you feel a need to comment on any of the people I talk to about on this show, that's up to you. But I would appreciate it if my name's not involved. Okay, you have your own opinions, and I feel free to share them. I got into a situation once where someone tweeted to somebody about something not even related to something I said, and then mentioned me as a source to talk to about, and I didn't even know the conversation was coming, and it didn't work out so well. And it could have had I known that was coming, but I didn't know it was coming. All of a sudden, I'm getting heat from somebody. I have no idea what I'm getting heat for, and it was because someone tagged my name into something that I wasn't even part of the conversation. And so I don't care. I don't care if it's something that, you share with me. That's fine. But especially, I don't want people harassed. I'm just talking about different things that happen on the internet. And a lot of people know Sophane, and he's a big boy. If you have opinions different than his, he's fine with that. And he and I are friends on the internet, even though we disagree on a lot of shit. But I think he's a funny and talented guy. And, so there. Anyway, so thank you, Chicago Mike. Another 556 in the Dancing Mamacita. Sorry, PAWG, I'm working and not able to listen until later today. Hey, that's cool, Chicago Mike. I appreciate that you listen later in the day, or whether you listen live or later in the day. I completely appreciate it. If you like something or have something you want to comment on, please include it in the comment section. That'll show up down below the replay. All right. So he Sophane tweets this. Now, when you before you even, that's the wrong one. Okay, this is not the one, but they are all just very nice people that want to get back to work. He's been having this theme, and this is the one though that I wanted to show you. These are all very nice people who just want to get back to work. And I think he's referencing something that President Trump said or whatever, okay? Now, when I read this line, you got to know that when he says these are all very nice people, he's referring to whom? Before you even read the article, he's referring to whom? He's referring to the protesters, right? Which for him, that's they're probably Trump people. They're probably of the lighter shade variety, if you know what I'm saying. They might be some of those. Well, for him, that means a right-wing nut job. But whatever. But he puts it with this article. A security guard is shot and killed after telling customer to put on a face mask. Now, this is one of those things where you go, banana plus screwdriver equals soccer ball. Because, first of all, you would think the article is about someone who was protesting and maybe shot someone because they didn't put on a face mask or whatever. This was a dispute in a Family Dollar store. Now, as soon as I read the headline, when I heard I saw Family Dollar. I'm thinking, this is not going to be your typical, these very fine people things. Apparently, 3 family members who've been charged with the killing of a security guard who told a customer at a Michigan Family Dollar store to wear a state-mandated face mask, officials said on Monday. Calvin Moonerlin, 43, died at a Flint hospital. Flint, Michigan. There may be something wrong. Anyway, after he was shot in the head on Friday, said Michigan State Police Lieutenant David Kaiser. Ramon Ye, Trayvon Bishop, 23, and Larry Edward Teague, 44, and Charmel Lachey Teague, 45, have been charged with first-degree premeditated murder along with other charges. The Genesee Genesee County Prosecutor's Office said in a statement on Monday. Oh, I got to turn my music back on. Hold up. I need my tunes back on. And that did not work. That did not work at all. Oh, yeah, it did. No, it did not. What the hell's going on here? Let's try this one. Nope, that's silent too. What the hell? Can you guys hear? No, you guys can't hear music either. Well, we're going to refresh. All right, we'll fix this later. Back to this article. Just get off my screen, Anderson Cooper. From all Charmel and Larry Teague are married, and Bishop is Charmel's son, according to the prosecutor's office. From all indications, Mr. Munelin was simply doing his job and upholding the governor's executive order related to the COVID-19 pandemic for the safety of store employees and customers, Genesee County Prosecutor David Layton said in a statement. Munelin got in a verbal altercation with Charmel Teague after telling Teague's daughter she needed to wear a mask, according to the prosecutor's office. Surveillance video confirms the incident, Layton said. Charmel Teague's daughter left the store, but Teague began yelling at Munelin, who then told her to leave the store and instructed the cashier not to serve her, the prosecutor's office said. Under an executive order from Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, all retail employees and customers have to wear a mask. Which might be counterproductive, by the way. Good morning, Avocados Diabli. Excuse me. Footage shows that immediately after the altercation, the woman left in an SUV, but about 20 minutes later, the SUV returned. Two men, identified as Bishop and Larry Teague, entered the store. According to the statement, one of them yelled at Munelin about disrespecting his wife, Layton said. The other man, later identified as Bishop, then allegedly shot the security guard, the statement said. This is senseless. Over a mask? Over a mask? Munelin's cousin, Tina James, told CNN affiliate WJRT, this is not the way we do things right now. We need to come together. Now, so I'm trying to figure out. So Faith says these are all very nice people who just want to get back to work. How exactly is this story relate to the people who are protesting? First of all, I'm pretty sure that the Family Dollar stores, because they are a food store, were already open. That has nothing to do with their work. This altercation really has nothing to do with whether or not they protest the governor's edicts or not. This is something they've been there anyway. You know, Family Dollar stores do carry food. People go to the Family Dollar stores. There's probably things in that Family Dollar store that the governor hasn't banned them from buying. Well, there's the details miss the story. Here's our friends. What's his name here? This is the UPI version. These are not people who are protesting at the state. This is some Flint, Michigan shit that would happen in Flint, Michigan if you look sideways at somebody the wrong way. That's Larry Teague and Ramon Teague, who are still armed and dangerous, still on the run. They haven't caught them yet. They did catch Mrs. Teague. But what does this have to do with people protesting whatever they're protesting? And so someone brought that up. That was the first reply. Edendro, who many of you know, says weird, hot political generalizations like this that stem from a black person shooting somebody usually come from the right. Adapt, I guess. And Fain's reply, oh, nice, straight to his race and ignoring his motives. Imagine my surprise. Well, you know what? His motives of the killer was you disrespected my wife and you shot him in the face. Has nothing to do with whether or not we're on a quarantine right now, or whatever the hell this is that they're doing in Michigan. And so Endrove says, well, that was the joke. The other joke is you participating in these fallacies, that one horrible act in the name of one idea invalidates the entire idea. And that's the part where I'm here, where this is a complete and utter non sequitur to what he was referring to in the statement. These are all very nice people who just want to get back to work. This didn't happen at a protest. This didn't happen by someone who was probably protesting. This is not the typical, these are all very nice people that he's referring to, which probably refers to Trump voters or right-wing lunatics or whatever. These are a couple of brothers who felt that that the wife was disrespected, so he killed a guy over it. This is senseless violence that has nothing to do with people who want to get back to work. And I see a lot of this shit, not just from Sofane, but from a lot of people. Sofane's a good dude. I don't have problems with him. He's funny. I think he's a funny guy. Some people could take him or leave him. I think he's a good guy. But it's just unbelievable. Now, he did tweet another funny thing, and what he said, for today's episode of Opening Georgia, I'm going to take you to Cumberland Mall, where here in Northwest Atlanta, everything's getting back to normal. And he tweets this is the scene here, which is kind of funny. People fighting in the street. Oh, and then okay, things are getting back to normal in Georgia. All right, so anyway, fight in the Georgia Mall. He should send that to, what's that, World Star? Does World Star still exist? I never see World Star videos anymore. All right, let me see if I can, let me just do a little technical thing here. See if I can fix my damn music, what happened to it, I do not know. Let's see, we're still on instrumentals. Let's see if we can, this might be a little loud for a second. Whoa. All right, we got the beats back. Almost. All right, don't adjust your screens. All right, let's talk a little bit more about media today while we're on it. So, you all know who Kristi Noem is? Anyone know who that is? Yeah, came in hard for that. Yeah, he came in, I don't know what it was about. I don't know what that was all about. It was just some senseless violence in Atlanta. It happens every once in a while. World Star! All right. Oh, that's kind of loud, isn't it? I got to turn that down. Oh, whoa. Did that just go silent? It just went complete. Oh. All right. Let's get this to a... All right. It's still loud. Hang on. Okay, that'll be all right. All right, here we go. Let's go into this started. Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, has been taking a lot of shit from the media. Now, it amazes me how much shit she's been getting at the same time that a lot of the media is praising, and I mean praising, Andrew Cuomo. Now, it's weird to me, too, because Andrew Cuomo kind of messed some shit up, if you ask me. Now look, I am not one of these people. Damn it, turn this music down. Oh, that's my headphones, so that's me. Y'all have to tell me it's too loud. Anyway, Andrew Cuomo's made some mistakes, okay? But I'm not blaming, again, I don't blame this I'm not even going to call it a pandemic anymore. I mean, it is a pandemic, but it's a virus that's hit the United States pretty hard, hit some parts of the United States pretty hard. But I can't blame it on Andrew Cuomo. I can't blame it on President Trump. I can't blame it on Mayor de Blasio, even though there's things that they all could have done. Well, I don't even know what the hell Trump could have done. The mistakes that Cuomo has made have been relating to sending people back to nursing homes. The mistakes that de Blasio made was because Trump said it, you don't have to take it seriously. And then, oh shit, this is biting me in the ass now. I'm going to blame it all on Trump. It's loud. I can't even tell. My monitor is messed up. That's when I'm going to change my equipment one of these days. But y'all can hear me, right? All right. Anyway, so the media is starting to attack this Governor Noem from South Dakota because Kristi Noem decided that she's not going to close down her state or close people down. There was the big thing about this one meat plant. 300 people in the plant had COVID-19, and that was huge news. I'm sorry, huge news. And yet, in her state, I think a total of 19, 20 people have died. And they have one of the lowest rates of infection, the lowest rates of death in the country. So, I see Selector Boy.
That's right.
Oh, wrong one.
Yeah, boy.
I always do that. I always hit Black Hebrew Israelites key. Good morning, ZZA also, or Zay. I think that's a mean. Needs more metal. Yeah, it's not metal's on Monday, and I forgot to turn it back on. All right, yeah, I got the coof. Okay, no, I don't have the. This is. I have this every year during allergy season. I either cough or I sneeze. I cough, I sneeze. I cough, I sneeze. It's just how it is. All right, so let's get into this article because I've been previewing too long. South Dakota governor rejected the mandatory government force shutdown. Now the media claims her decisions were made out of emotion and naked ambition, not courage. As the coronavirus spread from Wuhan, China is asshole to the United States, most governors quickly acquiesced to the media's demand that they force a governmental shutdown of their states in order to prevent hospitals from being overwhelmed. The media continue to be heavily invested in the shutdown model, even as the country realizes that hospitals are nowhere close to being overwhelmed, and in fact, many hospital systems are furloughing doctors and nurses due to the mandatory cessation on handling most non-COVID cases, like that Cherry Hill Center. Why do you think 25% of their staff has been laid off? Because they don't handle non-COVID cases. With the predicted hospital demands being dramatically off, the medical's goalposts have shifted violently from demanding a shutdown to flatten the curve of exponential growth that would overwhelm hospitals to demanding a continued shutdown of a continued shutdown to lower the number of COVID-19 deaths, no matter the consequences, including long-term economic damage, serious harm to the food supply, or death from other causes. While the media generally praise government shutdown, politicians such as New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who kept unsanitary subways running, forced people into deadly nursing homes, and demanded tens of thousands of ventilators he never used, they condemn politicians such as South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who has strongly encouraged social distancing measures but not used a government force to accomplish public health goals. The media predicted that Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis' more measured approach would result in horrific disaster. It hasn't. Unlike Cuomo, DeSantis focused on nursing homes more than the low likelihood of transmission on big, sunny beaches. The media sense that they will face less scrutiny for their preferred policy position if they can remove sane alternative policy approaches from the table. To that end, Noem and others who reject the mandatory long-term government force shutdown model as the preferred option for their states must be condemned. The media aren't uniform in condemning alternate policy approaches. It should be noted, Georgia's Republican Governor Brian Kemp is one of the media's enemies for encouraging phased reopening of his state, while Colorado's Democratic Governor Jared Polis, who is following the same approach, has not received similar media hatred. Oh, shocker! They hold Democrats and Republicans to different standards? Oh my gosh. knock me over with a, well, I was going to say a feather. I was trying to think of something more creative. But anyway, knock me over with a paper football. Hey, here's a good question for you. This is just another, I don't know if it's a boomer question or not. Who in the chat has ever played paper football? Put a 1 in the chat. Just curious. Okay, whether it relates to sexual harassment claims or coronavirus policies, the media play by 2 different sets of rules. To get good coverage as a Republican in this and other storylines, one must typically condemn conservatives or President Trump. Just ask Utah Senator Mitt Romney or Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker or Maryland Governor Larry Hogan for more details on how to secure friendlier media coverage. MSNBC's histrionic Rachel Maddow devoted nearly a week of programming to condemning NOAM in mid-April. Yay, there have been people who've played paper football. Good. That's like pre-video game shit. We had a paper football league. We had leagues in elementary school where we had a league during lunchtime. We had a paper football league where we actually put up a schedule and had a playoffs and everything. And then we had, you ever play hockey with 3 pennies? Penny hockey? We played that. We had a league for that. And we had a league for table basketball. We had a game called table basketball where you spun a cord and you catch it with your thumbs and you had to put it in the anyway. That's just some sports shit. MSNBC's histrionic Rachel Maddow devoted nearly a week of programming condemning NOAM in mid-April, around the time the Washington Post ran a piece of panic pornography headlined, excuse me, let me get prepared for this one. South Dakota's governor resisted ordering people to stay home. Now it has one of the nation's largest coronavirus hotspots. The article, which was tweeted out by the New York Times' Ken Fogel, CNN's Jake Tapper, NBC's Sahil Kapoor, and Washington Post's Glenn Kessler, and MSNBC Rachel Maddow, and many others, was written at the time that South Dakota had 6 deaths. Oh my gosh. As of May 3rd, the number has risen to 21. The outbreak was at the Smithfield pork processing facility that even the most stringent of state lockdowns would have deemed essential as an essential business excuse me, to keep open in preservation of the country's food supply. Modelers predicted South Dakota would need 10,000 beds if no government order were put in place and nothing were done to stop the spread of coronavirus. While no government stay-at-home order has been put in place and NOAM has simply encouraged citizens of the state to make good decisions, the latest prediction is that the state will need a peak of a total of 127 beds on June 20th. Oh, is that all? That's a lot different from 10,000 beds. NOAM argues that this shows her state's population is properly practicing social distancing. The state was one of the first to launch a contact tracing application as well. The latest media attack on NOAM comes from out-of-state reporters Thomas Beaumont, filing from Iowa, and his colleague Stephen Groves, both of the Associated Press. It's a bizarre piece. The article begins with an unflattering photograph of NOAM, a difficult feat given how attractive the governor is. NOAM was rated the most beautiful member of Congress when she served in the House. The 2 men who wrote the article purport to get into the governor's mind and ascertain that her policy goals are driven not by her leadership. No, wait, there's a word for this, but we'll get to that. Not by her leadership or rational decision making, but by emotion and naked ambition. Any feminists in the chat want to tell me what that's called? It's unclear why they believe they're qualified to perform this type of analysis, much less how these men, mansplaining, develop their theories about this woman's political path. I'm sorry, I think she's quite the leader. Hello, Renee Miette and Richard Cranium. Hello. And Jonas Pedersen. How you doing? courageous leadership is certainly a way to stand out, but it comes with an extremely high risk in our media environment as articles such as this test. It would seem that a more ambitious politician would attempt to find safety in the herd. They admit that the media politically oppose the governor, but suggest that they're not alone. It's not just the media who have questioned her approach, they write. The two men cite the mayor of Sioux Falls as a prominent Nome critic. They repeatedly cite the talking point that Mayor Paulton Hawken called for sweeping stay-at-home orders, which was true a few weeks ago. They do not note that he has since declined to institute a stay-at-home order for his own city, even after saying he was going to do so in mid-April. During a historically tough year for Republicans, Nome's winning of the state, most politically famous for having previously produced Democratic Majority Leader Tom Daschle, is redefined as, quote, she won the governor's office with just 51% of the vote in 2018. Her opponent, the reporters forget to mention, was an extremely popular state senator. Nowhere in the article is it mentioned that the Tax Foundation analysis shows that South Dakota has the lowest percentage in the country of a state's workforce filing unemployment claims. Nowhere in the article last week's parade in honor of the governor mentioned. A parade featured hundreds of cars and one horse. Well, this is South Dakota. No, there should be a lot of horses in South Dakota. Anyway. Yeah, it's the country's least percentage of unemployment claims because they didn't stop working. People probably aren't going to be starving in South Dakota. The article has a few other factual problems. Without evidence, and in the face of contrary evidence, it suggests that Nome is following Trump's lead on mandatory shutdowns. His comments have been inconsistent, but his administration has strongly supported government shutdowns, and he himself has condemned Kemp for attempting to restart the state's economy. The article falsely claims that there is no evidence that the veteran malaria drug is effective for coronavirus treatment. While the effectiveness is hotly debated by doctors and researchers, multiple perspectives have evidence in support of their claims. For her part, Nome seems unlikely to be bullied by the media. In a coronavirus update at the end of April, she told citizens, quote, as governor, I did not dictate to the people of South Dakota, tell people which activities are officially approved or not, or begin arresting, ticketing, or fining people for exercising their rights. Nor am I going to do that today. I will, however, continue to lead and help South Dakota navigate a path forward in this uniquely difficult and challenging time. Nome praised the prudent decision-making of the people of South Dakota in the face of a global pandemic, saying, it was them that made the state great, not the government. Oh my gosh! If I wasn't married, oh my goodness, I'm getting the vapors. The people of South Dakota are at the source of the power and legitimacy of our government, not the media, not the politicians, not the political parties. Now that is a healthy perspective for any elected official to keep in mind. That woman is my fucking hero. And she's a fine individual. See, there's Kristi Noem right there. She's a fine individual. I'm just saying. All right, let us continue. That is the problem. They aren't becoming a state dependent on the federal government. Therefore, they will not be as easy to convert. That's just, I'm telling you, if more governors had taken this approach and just, look, I have this sneaking suspicion that now look, maybe in New York State, New Jersey, possibly Washington, as in the state, not the DC, had they taken the same approach in most states and just level with the people, told them how important it was to do the social distancing thing, be aware of this virus, I think most states would have similar results. I don't think it makes any difference whether we were locked ourselves in our houses or not. Clearly, where they've done it, of course, in some places they did it too late anyway. In Michigan in particular, it's like, all these people got sick within a short time after they finally did the stay-at-home order. So that means they were already sick. Most people doing these antibody tests who are showing positive for the antibodies clearly already had it at some point, so it's too late for them. So, of course, what she did in South Dakota, where she said, you know what, y'all just need to stay apart. You need to follow these guidelines. Let's not get sick. You know why? You know why it works? Because nobody wants to get that shit. You think if they tell people, okay, here's a way for you not to get this virus, do you think people are going to run around and go, well, I don't care. I think I'm going to see if I can not do that and try to get the virus. I watch people every time I go to Home Depot. I'm like, okay, we got to go to Home Depot and get some shit because I can't live without my gardening stuff. And I go to Home Depot, and even before they put those little dots on the floor, the lines and the things, the arrows go this way, go that way, so that you stay 6 feet apart from each other, Home Depot would have a whole bunch of people in there, and boy, they would just avoid each other like, I'm telling you, people were avoiding each other before they were told to avoid each other, or they were showed how to avoid each other, put little dots on the floor and little marker lines and little arrows and shit. They were already doing it because nobody wants to get that shit. So Kristi Noem is a genius. She said, hey, here's some shit that can kill you. Here's how you avoid getting it. And then she took particular care, well, just like in Florida, they made particular care of nursing homes and things like that. There's no huge outbreak in nursing homes in South Dakota. And in Florida, they were that's what Ron DeSantis did. Now Ron DeSantis was a little different. They did a little shut the stay-at-home stuff for a while, but then they changed it and they shut down the beaches for a while. But you're not going to get this shit on the beach. Renee Mayette, yes, I quarantined before states mandated. Yes, my mother-in-law, my wife, Lady Boomer, and I heard about this, and we started talking about it, and I had been watching Styx and all these other people who were talking about it. We're like, this could get bad, and then we heard there was a case in the U.S., and then they, come in the middle of February, like, okay, hang on, we need to talk to mother-in-law and say, hey, you may want to just stay tight for a while, stay there. She doesn't get out that much anyway, but we're like, we're going to be very careful. We're going to wear masks when we come over just to be safe. And you know what? I don't think there's people in her building that are getting it. I don't know if she talks to anybody else, but it's like, come on. All you got to do, people are, they all think we're stupid. They think we're all stupid. And then, of course, where are you at? Did he leave? Did Cairo, are you still here? And Cairo, who lives in New York, says he doesn't see anybody, and nobody has it. So that's interesting. That's another way to look at it. But anyway, the media, likes to attack. Now the AP article that they were talking about, I'll put that in the chat. I'm curious because I haven't read the AP article itself. It's hard to take. Okay, they said it was an unflattering photo of Kristi Noem. Now, this is funny because, this is the unflattering picture of Kristi Noem. That's just about as unflattering as you can get with her because she's a fine individual. So here's that article. Kristi Noem has been South Dakota's governor for less than 6 months, when she made it clear she wasn't going to let her job in the sleepy capital Pierre keep her out of national politics or off of President Trump's radar. Oh, so she's doing this just to be on President Trump's radar? The 48-year-old Republican had a TV studio with live hookup capability. The hell's that? Hang on. Does this have one of those random videos that plays? And yes, it does. That was it. Okay. She wasn't gonna. Okay, the 48-year-old Republican had a TV studio with live hookup capability installed in the governor's office. She started seeking advice from Trump's former advisor, Lori Lewandowski, who worked to raise her profile with conservatives. Then came the pandemic. Now Noam's pursuit of the spotlight. Her pursuit of the spotlight? I hate to break this to you. What is that? Okay, is this one of the... Let me find where it is here. We got a phantom news report playing in the background somewhere in here that I don't want playing. I hate when they do that. Okay, I'm not sure what it is. We'll just have to deal with it. All right. Yeah, she's 48. Yes, she is. I said she's a fine individual. Anyway. Now Noam's pursuit of the spotlight. She didn't ask for the spotlight. Comes with much higher stakes. While many other governors have broken from Trump on the need for stay-at-home orders to curb the spread of the coronavirus and on when to restart the economy, Noam has tracked close to the president. She declined to impose broad restrictions on business and public activity, resisting calls from doctors. And when Trump touted a malaria drug as a potential remedy for the disease, she was among the first to launch a trial of the drug, despite no proof of its effectiveness. Isn't that why you launch a trial of a drug? To find out its effectiveness, you fucking dolts. Also, what do you mean she goes to the president declining to impose broad restrictions? The president came up with the list with his team and made the recommendations. Holy shit. That's earned her praise from conservative activists. Oh, only conservative activists? Only? And the attention of the president. Well, she is a fine individual. Who last week announced plans to visit the state for an Independence Day celebration at Mount Rushmore, complete with once banned fireworks. Well, there you go. The White House sees her as someone trying to push back against the grain, said Charlie Kirk, a conservative activist and close Trump ally. Okay, that's where I'm hearing it. That's hero status in the conservative movement. Okay, whatever. Well, good. I'm glad Trump has noticed, and she obviously is a success story. That's earned her the White House sees her as someone trying to push back against the grain. Okay, we got that. But it's also drawn criticism from media. God damn. From Republicans in her solidly red state who say she's been slow to lead the response and seems focused on climbing the political ladder. They worry, along with health experts, that the fallout from her decision hasn't yet been felt. The state's virus caseload isn't expected to peak until June. No governor has faced this enormous test before, but this is the kind of challenge they will be judged on, said Gail Gitchell, a Republican strategist and former communications director for the Republicans Governors Association. For Noam's national profile, Gitchell added, it becomes her leadership resume for future office. Well, I, for one, would be happy to vote for this fine woman. I'm just saying. For Noam's... Okay. Throughout the coronavirus pandemic, Noam has stuck to a hands-off approach. Well, I'm not... No. That's absolutely wrong. It's not a hands-off approach. It's an approach that doesn't require the people of your citizens to shut themselves off from the world. It's quite the hands-on approach, the guidelines that she suggests. So it's not hands-off. Hands-off would mean y'all are on your own. That's not hands-off. Good God. Refusing to order businesses to close and rejecting calls for sweeping stay-at-home orders. That's not a hands-off approach. She just takes a different approach. She's held her ground even as mayors and doctors, including the state's largest medical association, called for stricter measures. Noam argued that it would only delay the peak of infections. Ding! And extend disruption of daily life, like it is everywhere else in the country. She invoked the state's ethos of individualism and said she trusted South Dakotans to be responsible. Wow. Our states are very diverse, very different, Noam said Tuesday, comparing her approach to governors in populous East Coast states. South Dakota is not like New York, and it's not like New Jersey, she said during a Fox News Channel interview. An outbreak at a pork processing plant has created a hotspot in South Dakota. Oh no! The county that includes Sioux Falls, the state's largest city, has a per capita infection rate 15% lower than Manhattan's, although the rate of deaths is much lower, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. I did get kind of ridiculed by the media for telling people in my press conferences, if you're scared and you're fearful, to stay home. Yeah, if you're scared, stay your ass home. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that either. Noam told Kirk during a podcast recorded last week. It's not just the media who have questioned her approach. Fellow Republicans, Paulton Hacken, the mayor of Sioux Falls, who said she was not doing enough to stop a spike of infections after an outbreak at the Smithfield pork processing plant, eventually sickened 853 employees, including 2 who died. Noam ultimately joined Hacken and asking Smithfield to temporarily close the plant. Okay, sounds hands-on to me. Total of 21 deaths, though, right now. Despite that, Noam tends to dig in when challenged. Most famously, she stood by her anti-drug campaign tagline, "Meth, we're on it." After it became the butt of jokes. Meth, we're on it. Oh, I almost can't function now. After facing criticism for hiring her daughter as a policy advisor, Noam gave her a bigger job and a hefty raise. Noam has largely praised the Trump administration through the crisis, even in March when the state health lab ran out of supplies and had to halt tests for several days. That had resulted in access to Trump and his advisors. During the call with Trump last week, she pressed for flexibility in using her state's $125 billion in relief funding to offset sharp state revenue declines. Trump invited Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin onto the call to discuss the possibility, Noam later told reporters. Noam increased contact with the White House comes after several months of close consultation with Lewandowski, Trump's foreign. The two were among roughly 40 conservative guests, including Clerk and Donald Trump Jr., who attended an annual deep-sea fishing trip last summer off of British Columbia, hosted and paid for by Wyoming GOP donor Foster Friess. What the fuck does that have to do with anything regarding COVID-19 other than it's a little dig in the article about perks by Republican donors to Republicans? I bet you never see them talk about the trip that that donors sent 30 Democrats off to Europe. When was that? It was last year. They sent a bunch of Democratic Congress people off on a fact-finding mission to, like, I don't know, some European. I can't remember where it was, but you know what? That's just a dig. That's these. Oh my God, they're so fucking dirty. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm sorry. She's a hero to me now. All right. Am I gonna do the other article? Let me do the other article before I move on. Twitter Trends Day is going to be very, very truncated. Anyone else encountering buffering? That's a good question. Yeah, I am. Okay, there is a little buffering going on. Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Okay, you might experience buffering for a bit. Yes, you are. And I don't think that it says open widget. I'm afraid to open widget. Let's see. Yeah, it's slightly poor right now. Anyway, all right. Let's finish this up. Let's see. We talked about Christy Nome. Oh, here, let's get rid of this. What the hell? Oh no! They took my article. I can't open it. All right. All right, last one I'm going to do today. I'm skipping a couple of these. This one I just found interesting just because of the title. And I haven't even looked at it other than the title. But here's the title. The left is not going to like this, but Trump has been proven right over and over again. All right, let's see what this says. I have no... Oh, media coverage of President Trump's response to the coronavirus has been overwhelmingly negative. Numerous false stories have been published and spread in an attempt to damage him politically before the election in November. Yeah, they have. The media wants us to believe that Trump botched the response to the coronavirus, when in fact it was the media that botched their coverage of the coronavirus. Despite their attempts to destroy him, Trump has persisted, and many times he's been proven right. Below, I've compiled 5 things Trump has been proven right about during a pandemic, in the hopes that maybe, instead of trying to exploit the pandemic as a political opportunity, that the media will start to cover it honestly and fairly. Okay, you got my attention. Who wrote this article? This is Matt Margolis, who is from PJ Media. Here we go. Number 5. We'll go in back. It's backward order. Number 5. You ever see who's the dude that does 5 things all the time? Josh Prey. Have you ever seen Josh Prey videos? He's a funny dude. Usually does short 3 to 5 minute videos, and his 5 things that for whatever, and then they're always pretty funny. But anyway, number 5, we rely too much on China.
China is asshole.
Before the pandemic, President Trump launched an economic war with China. He's been an advocate for America to be less reliant on China for the production of goods and medicine. Trump's America First foreign policy, was called protectionist, isolationist, and even xenophobic. His trade war with China was mocked. China may have offered cheap labor, but the coronavirus pandemic has shown us just how deadly our dependence on China really is. And Trump rightfully acknowledged that he was right. What? Trump telling you he was right? Never happens. Now, the one thing that the pandemic has taught us is that I was right, Trump said. You know, I had people say, no, it's good. You do this, you do that. Now those people are really agreeing with me, and that includes medicine and other things, you know. Okay, typical Trump disjointed sentence, but you know what the meaning is. Donald Trump has been insisting for years that our country has been too economically dependent on China, explained Madison Giacchino, a Trump campaign advisory board member. It is sad that it took a global public health crisis to prove that he was right all the time. Sad indeed, right? Number 4, Obama botched the H1N1 response. Now this is interesting. Let's see what this says first before I give it a ding. Obama's response to the H1N1 pandemic generally received positive marks, but the coronavirus pandemic has given us an opportunity to measure it against other domestic pandemics for comparison. Obama waited months after the World Health Organization declared H1N1 a global pandemic to declare a national emergency, but then by then, millions of Americans were already infected and over 1,000 had died. President Trump declared a coronavirus national emergency 2 days after the WHO declared a coronavirus global pandemic. Oh, no. Was that right? No. He declared it a national emergency 2 days after they called it a public health emergency of global concern. He had already named it a national health emergency before, because that was on January 30th. Then on March 16th, they called it a pandemic. It had already been a national emergency for Trump since January 31st. So he even did before they called it a pandemic, and has been aggressively responding to the outbreak before most Americans were even paying attention to it. Obama only declared H1N1 a national emergency a few short days before a congressional oversight panel slammed his administration's response to the pandemic as inadequate and incomplete. Excuse me. Nevertheless, Trump's trashing of Obama's H1N1 response was mocked by the media, but even Obama's former Ebola czar, Richard Klain, acknowledged that the response was botched. Klain is advising Joe Biden right now, so if you can't take my word on it, you can take his. Klain said, "It is purely a fortuity that H1N1 isn't one of the great mass casualty events in American history. It had nothing to do with us doing anything right, it just had to do with luck." The main reason was that the Obama administration failed to achieve its vaccine production goals. They predicted in early summer 2009 that it would have 160 million vaccine doses by late October, but they ended up with less than 30 million. This failure undoubtedly cost lives. A study by Purdue University scholars published on October 15, 2009, before Obama declared a national emergency, determined that H1N1 vaccine would arrive too late to help most Americans who will be infected during the flu season. The study determined that the CDC's planned vaccination campaign would likely not have a large effect on the total number of people ultimately infected by the pandemic H1N1 influenza virus. Well, how they lucked out on that is H1N1 wasn't nearly as deadly as they thought it would be. And they did luck out, because they did. They ended up only, they were well short of their vaccine production goals, and they literally lucked out on that one. And so basically, the total death count on that was like between 12 and 18,000 people. Obviously, if you go by death count, yeah, this is way worse, but it's not because of action or inaction. It just is what it is. Number 3, the fatality rate is likely under 1%. That gets a second bell. When the World Health Organization estimated that the fatality rate of the coronavirus was 3.4%, Trump was skeptical. Anyone remember this? Well, I think 3 to 4% is really a false number. Now, and this is just my hunch, but based on a lot of conversations with a lot of people that do this, because a lot of people will have this and it's very mild, they will get better very rapidly. They won't even see a doctor. They don't even call a doctor, Trump said during an interview on Hannity. I think that number is very high. I think the number, personally, I would say the number is way under 1%. Now, the media mocked him mercilessly for that. Now that we're finding out, when we do the antibody testing, yeah, he was right. While we may not find out the true fatality rate for some time, there have been multiple studies that have determined the coronavirus infection is far more widespread than we know, likely because China covered up the outbreak for weeks, and that the fatality rate has, in fact, been less than 1%. Number 2, there was no ventilator shortage. Remember when the states were requesting ventilators in huge numbers? Governor Andrew Cuomo alone requested 40,000 ventilators and then blamed Trump for not providing enough. You picked the 26,000 people who are going to die, Cuomo dramatically said during a press conference. Trump didn't believe he needed 40,000. I have a feeling that a lot of the numbers that are being said in some areas are just bigger than they're going to need, President Trump said. I don't believe you need 40,000 or 30,000 ventilators. You go into major hospitals sometimes and they'll have 2 ventilators. And now, all of a sudden, they're saying, can we order 30,000 ventilators? Trump's belief that states drastically overestimated their needs proved right. Despite claims from the media, there was never I would not even say no. There never was a ventilator shortage. Local health officials had based their requests on those early doomsday scenarios that forced us to shut down. Rather than go by the excessively large requests by governors, the Trump administration used real-time data from hospitals to estimate needs of each state. That method ultimately worked. New York appeared to hit its peak by mid-April and needed fewer than 6,000 ventilators. Anyone who needed a ventilator got one. And finally, number 1, travel bans work. In January, President Trump took the bold step of banning travel from China back in January. Okay, that's a bad sentence. In January, President Trump took the bold step of banning travel from China back in January. They said January twice. The World Health Organization said it wouldn't work. Joe Biden called it xenophobic. Others joined in on the criticism. But a month later, WHO experts conceded that it worked and it saved lives. While Trump was widely criticized for his travel bans, his critics have largely flip-flopped on the issue. Even Joe Biden has flip-flopped on this. He now supports the travel ban with China after previously calling it xenophobic. Other former critics of the ban would later claim the ban didn't go far enough. They're talking to you, Nancy Pelosi. And should have been implemented earlier. Really? When would you have implemented earlier? When exactly before January 31st, those of you who would say that he should have implemented it earlier, what would have been the triggering event that would have made you implement the travel ban earlier? Was it when on the 23rd, the New York Times published an article that said that the WHO and the Chinese said that there was no human-to-human transmission and we only had 1 case in the United States? Is that when you have implemented it? Just curious. Anyway, if Trump's decision to close travel with China saved lives, then Obama's decision not to close travel with Mexico during the H1N1 pandemic cost lives. Look, okay, this is kind of Monday morning quarterbacking on Obama too, and I don't think that's fair. You base things on what is happening on the ground at the moment you make the decision. And sure, in hindsight, Obama could have saved a few lives with whatever they know now that they didn't know at the time. I'm not going to blame him for that either. That's just it. You can't blame... If someone makes a statement at a particular point in time, you have to look at exactly what is going on at that time, what the advisors are saying at that time, what the scientists are saying at that time, what the economic people are saying at that time. You cannot make a guess, or you can only go by what you know. And I believe both President Trump and President Obama did what they did based on what they knew at the time. Now, the whole thing where they messed up with the vaccinations during the H1N1 crisis. Yes, it's during the Obama administration. Can you blame him specifically, or can you blame the companies that are producing the vaccines? Obama doesn't go and make the vaccines himself. Donald Trump doesn't go in and make the vaccines himself. You're reliant on a lot of people, a lot of events, a lot of factors, and a lot of information to be able to do it. And you can't do it. You get no instant replay, or you don't get a telephone booth that'll take you back in time. Tell me the reference, what I just did there. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. All right, let's take a very short perusal through the Twitter trends just to see what's going on in the world, see if there's any breaking news, see what people are talking about, and see if we can find out what people will be making videos about tomorrow. By the way, thank you, Becca Farley, again for tweeting out the show. Independent of me, I appreciate that. On the Explore tab for Twitter today is... oh, shocker, COVID-19 updates for the U.S. 1.2 million people, the U.S. have it. The latest CDC COVID View report shows that the proportion of death certificates coded as being related to COVID to COVID-19 decreased from 24.8% 2 weeks ago to 14.6% this week. Well, that's an interesting curve there, if you see right there. Greg Abbott says, today the Blue Angels are saluting our brave frontline COVID-19 responders and essential workers in the Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston starting at 11 a.m. Central Time. Flight paths can be found below, so the Blue Angels and... Is it just the Blue Angels in this one? Yeah, the Blue Angels are going to do flyovers in those two cities. Andrew Cuomo is going to give his daily briefing at 11:30 Eastern, which would be in 4 minutes. Apparently de Blasio is doing his right now. Scott Gottlieb, MD, studies suggest activities held outdoors as temperatures warm pose lower COVID risk than those done in confined indoor spaces. As we reopen, states should look to ease rules to allow more recreational, religious, and business activities to occur outside. Interesting. I'm going to right-click that and check that article out later. In fact, I'm going to put that one out there for y'all too. Here's that article. Hello, Zombie Teddy. And also he says, let's see, when you look at flu each year, disadvantaged Americans and those in at-risk environments are disproportionately impacted. COVID-19 is going to have the same patterns of harm as we reopen. We need to focus on protecting at-risk communities and job sites. Ding! Yes, take care of the nursing homes. Coronavirus cases will keep rising in May. Yes, they're going to keep rising because we're doing a hell of a lot more testing too. If you look, here's the worldview right now. I'm going to refresh this. Yes, we have more cases than anybody. We also have done almost 8 million tests. The next closest is Russia says they've done 4.6 million. Press X to doubt. But the next nearest one is 22.5 million, Germany. The more you test, the more cases you're going to find, the more asymptomatic cases you're going to find. Of course you're going to find them. But our testing is ramped up. We did 500,000 tests yesterday. Because yesterday this was at like 600,000, 70.1 million. And it's 7.7 million now. So just over 500,000 tests just yesterday in the United States. That's pretty amazing. So I don't know if you follow me on Twitter too. I do daily update the comparison of the United States versus the 5 countries in Europe that have the most cases. Well, Germany's doesn't have the most cases, but the most, or excuse me, not the most deaths, most cases. Comparing the 323 million population of those 5 countries combined versus our 328 million. We have a lot more cases, about 100,000 more cases, but about 50,000 fewer deaths. Oh, our country with no universal health care and these 5 countries that all have universal health care. Now, really, honestly, it has nothing to do with your healthcare system. At least I don't think it does. Not the type of healthcare system. There are so many factors, but so many people are saying we need universal healthcare. We need Medicare for all. Doesn't help those countries now, does it? But that's a completely different, unrelated argument. All right, and finally, Nicholas Christakis, State Health Department tells University COVID-19 modeling team. Okay, what? Okay, for some reason in Arizona they're pausing. Okay, a powerful illustration why it's not good to allow government to control who says what in universities. Here it seems authorities in Arizona want a group of scientists to stop working on COVID-19 models they find inconvenient. Well, if their models suck and they're not anywhere near reality, I don't think you need to tell them to stop, but you can tell them to fuck off and they're wrong. Or if they're right, or I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to go with that. All right, let's move on. Let's just do a quick rundown. National Nurses Day today is trending, which is, boy, I'll tell you, it's a tough month for nurses, not just because of COVID-19, because obviously the ones who are in those particular situations have it rough, but think about the nurses who can't work in some states because they've taken away their jobs because they're not handling COVID cases. There's a lot of people who've been furloughed from hospitals, a lot of medical people, a lot of people in different types of clinics. Excuse me. Anyway, Adele's trending because it's Adele's birthday. Oh my God. Adele's birthday picture sparks a debate on links between body image and beauty. Apparently, she put a picture out because Adele's really thin now. You know, she's been kind of big before and whatever, not bad big. She's always been attractive. But now she's super healthy and fit. And the singer shared an image on her 32nd birthday thanking first responders for all they were doing during the pandemic. The pictures led some to comment on Adele's weight loss, leading others to argue that weight should not determine beauty. Well, who said her weight determined her beauty? She's always been a beautiful woman. No one says her weight determines her beauty, but does she look healthier? Is she happy with the fact that she might be healthier, or she might just be happier being able to do things she couldn't do when she was heavier? Who gives a fuck? Stop. Who's obsessing about her weight? The people who are complaining, or the people who are congratulating her? Who's obsessing more about her weight? Yeah, whatever. All right, moving on. Nurses Week, RoboCop is trending. What? Oh, because there's going to be a new RoboCop video game? I see. Mortal Kombat 11. Aftermath includes a new story DLC, including RoboCop as a guest character. Okay, RoboCop's going to be in the new Mortal Kombat. Outstanding. Wednesday morning, Wednesday Wisdom, Wednesday Thoughts will skip. Happy Nurses Week will skip. Marsha, who's Marsha? Something trending in politics. Marsha Blackburn wants to give every American the opportunity to speak to the manager of COVID. Okay, what did she say? Okay. I introduced the Stop COVID Act to give all Americans the ability to sue China in U.S. courts for the damage they've inflicted on our country. Okay. So people are giving her shit for the name of the act. Oh, Ms. Krassenstein. That would be Brian Krassenstein and his uglier twin brother tweeting under the name of one of their wives, Ms. Krassenstein, breaking, Marsha Blackburn wants to allow every American to sue China for COVID-19. I have an idea. Let's allow every American to sue Donald Trump for hiding the fact that this virus was so serious from the American people while he warned our allies instead. What the fuck are you talking about, you douchebags? I don't know which one it is. I'll just say both of them. Or maybe all three of them. Who knows? Trump for hiding the fact that the virus was so serious from the American people while he warned our allies instead. Oh my God. And then, here we go. World Citizen. I love that Marsha is trending in LA. Marsha Blackburn is a white supremacist and about as ignorant as white trash comes. Total hick mentality and willing. Okay, here's. Wow. We see you, Hag. Just because she's from Tennessee, this is some West Coast bullshit thinking. So. Or this is coastal thinking. Marsha Blackburn's a hick because she's from Tennessee. You don't think they have smart people in Tennessee? Motherfucker, I'll come over there and beat your little lily white LA ass. All right, Bundesliga does something. Angela Merkel says Bundesliga can the Bundesliga is the German soccer league. Can restart in the second half of May following the coronavirus stoppage. Okay, so they might be having soccer events in May in Germany. Live and Let Die is trending under politics. Why? Oh, they blasted Live and Let Die while Trump walked around a Honeywell plant today in Arizona without a mask. It's hard to believe this clip is real. Okay, that's Aaron Rupar and Shannon Watts are both prolific Trump-hating TDS people. But Charlie Sykes and Jimmy Kimmel, I can't think of no better metaphor for this president than Trump not wearing a face mask to the mask face factory while the song Live and Let Die blares in the background. Okay, whatever. So that's big news. Okay, good for them. I'm sure he planned that. Hump Day is trending. Don't care. Cumberland Mall is trending. Is that the mall in Atlanta? Oh no, this is the fight. That's so Fade had tweeted. Things are back to normal in Atlanta. Oh, okay. So wait. Oh, now. Oh, this dude. Okay, I need to know who did this tweet first. So Fade's tweet. For today's episode of Opening Georgia, I'm going to take you to Cumberland Mall here in Northwest Atlanta. Everything is getting back to normal. David Levitt, some blue checkmark nitwit. Who did this first? Okay, what's the time on this one? 3 hours ago. 2 hours ago. This motherfucker stole Sofane's tweet. And oh my God. Now wait a minute. Okay, hang on. Yo. Somebody somebody liked the tweet so much that they stole it. Look, that's not right. Which one of them so fake? Oh no, he ain't in the picture. This is just him for today's episode of Opening Georgia. This guy actually stole the idea. That's just wrong. To do it at the Cumberland Mall was like, oh. Now lots of people laughing about it. But it looked like a little WWE thing. Oh shit. That's the dude who jumped in there with the foot. Oh yeah. Oh, lots of people enjoying that, but I'm sorry. That dude stole his shit. These other people are out here all stealing it. All right. Anyway, moving on. Live and Let Die. I think we know why that's trending. Willie Mays is trending. Say, hey, Willie, won't you hit one for me? Hey, it's Willie Mays' birthday. Happy 89th birthday to Willie Mays. One of the great baseball players of all time. Say, hey, Willie. All right, and he hit a lot of home runs too. He was excited. I saw him play when I was very, very young. He was still playing when I was a little kid. So, great baseball player. Hump Day, we already did that. Wednesday Motivation, Expose CBS. That's the Project Veritas one. Expose CBS is trending. Let's see what people are saying about it, since we already talked about that this morning. James O'Keefe put that up first. Stay tuned for breaking updates as this story is rapidly evolving. Forced to trend. It's already trending number 20. It seems like he and Project Veritas are almost solely keeping this one going because it's all him and Project Veritas so far. Here we go. No, not y'all falling for Project Veritas lies again. Oh, fuck off. You show me one lie. One verified lie. What's this? What do we put up here? The group is known for producing deceptively edited videos. Is this what is this? Wikipedia. Yeah, Wikipedia. Fuck off. God damn it. That pisses me off. Deceptively edited, aka not factually wrong. We should turn the tables and push Expose Veritas. Yeah, the only thing deceptively edited is their Google and Wikipedia pages. Exactly. You know what? Look, they started this when Project Veritas took down Acorn. Now, I just happened to be in the business, the lending business, back when the Acorn thing came out. And not only did they show the videos of what the Acorn people were saying, but the entire raw footage, like hours and hours of raw footage, they put online to prove that everything they said and doing were true. But that is the first time they used this deceptively edited argument against an organization. And they notice you never hear the deceptively edited argument against like liberal news media organizations, but they do it against Project Veritas because they hate that they took Acorn down. So you can fuck off with that. Not falling for Project Veritas lies again. No lies, sorry. During a crisis, the last thing we need is the kind of fake news seen in exposed CBS video. Sad and harmful fake news from the mainstream press. There you go, straight up. Dear God, CBS News fake coronavirus patients for a broadcast. This is why we don't trust anything you say. This is why real Donald Trump calls you fake news. And what's worse is the other news companies are not going to cover this story because they do it too. And because Project Veritas brought it up. At least there's people out there supporting James O'Keefe, so I good for him. Let's see. Finally, we'll skip that. That's K-pop. Justice for this one is interesting. Justice for Ahmaud Arbery. There's some dudes now. This man is dead. He was 25 years old. 25. He was so young. I'm really at a loss for words. I'm so disappointed in the United States of America. We cannot keep letting this happen. Well, it's not the United States of America that did this, but this is shit. This is shitty. Dude, I think was just jogging, and some guys thought, I don't know, they saw him jogging or thought he was running from stealing something, and they beat him to death. And fuck those guys. Put him in jail and throw away the key. Or better yet, let's just well, I got to be creative in saying this. Let them get the koof and poof for all I care. Fuck these guys. There's video of it. It's not cool. And fuck those guys. FTG forever. Now, of course, there's going to be people who are saying, okay, here it is. Appears to show Ahmaud Arbery, 25 of Georgia, whose family says he was out for a run, confronted by two men who shot him dead, saying they thought he was a burglar. A prosecutor wants a grand jury to decide whether the men should be charged. Well, hell yes, they should be charged. It's just senseless. First of all, you have no idea why this guy's running. It doesn't matter. You're not the police. If you think there's a problem, call the damn police. You don't just go chase the guy and beat him up and then shoot his ass. God, fuck these guys. I'm sorry. It's bad. All right. And then finally, last thing trending, something about Wednesday. So fuck it. Wellness Wednesday. Enough is enough. All right, real quick, I'll catch up with the chat here, see what's happening, because I saw someone's Marty Public Hanging Works. Yeah, stop that shit. Beatles song. Yeah, that is a Beatles song. Oh no, Live and Let Die. No, that was Paul McCartney and Wings did Live and Let Die. Check your logic, just to answer you. So it's just, not the Beatles, but Paul McCartney. And all right, that's it. I gotta go. People, I am so glad you joined me today, as usual. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you'll see us on another day, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. Although on Mondays I could be up to a half hour late on those days, but for the most part, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button on the way out the door and share the stream. If you see me on Twitter, retweet, not like, retweet, or any of our other friends who tweet out the show, retweet them. Them or me, either one. It helps people get here. And if you like what we do and you really want to support the channel and make it, what is it? Commercially viable. You can always throw some donations in the chip jar at PAWG.live. It's in the Streamlabs link down below. It's in my link in the chat. It shows up underneath my body right there. And again, follow me on Twitter, Minds and Cab, to get the personal notifications. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It is that time. I gotta go. My name is P Dog Knight. And I'm out of here. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PAWG Night, and thank you for watching today on the PAWG Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PAWG Night, and I'm out of here.